Welcome to Next to Nothing, the show where we talk about how to waste your time and not your money. I'm going to go ahead and unmute myself and undeafen myself from my comrades. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, what's happening, dude?
What's going on?
Not much. Let's go ahead and swap here. Boom. Smooth transition. We're ready to go.
The smoothest transition.
The smoothest of transitions.
Oh my god.
So, like I said, welcome to Next to Nothing, the show where we talk about what to waste your time on and not your money. I am Danie K, your host and producer right now. Currently getting used to new things, kind of updated things. I hope you guys enjoy the new updated look with some added bells and whistles. I'm going to let my co-host introduce himself, and then we'll introduce our guest.
Hi, I'm Ren. I'm another streamer. I'm a streamer on the Twitch. I'm been playing a ton of Monster Hunter. I'm trying to steer away from it for right now. But yeah, that's basically me right now. Hi, welcome in, guys.
Are you dreaming of Monster Hunter?
I don't really shouldn't say. I've tried really hard to just steer away from it, and it's like, I'm not going to play it out all next week. And it's like Monster Hunter Monday. And I'm just like, what do I play today? Oh, So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
It's already been launched. It's in your taskbar. It's been minimized for a week.
Maybe I'm trying to get my dailies. You don't know.
So, who is our guest?
Hi, my name is Lil Bill, or Lil Bill 17. Doesn't really much matter. Call me Bill. Much like my co-host here, I have a really strange addiction with Graveyard Keeper, especially this past week since the official release. So we'll definitely be covering some of that today. Yeah, my name's Bill. How you doing?
Cool. And regulars of the show might have noticed no spec. Class has started. She's a busy woman. Okay, we can't always get her. So no spec, but we got plenty to talk about. So yeah, I mean, just how are you guys doing? Let's just kind of draw this out a little bit better.
I'm doing amazing. I still can't get over the fact that this new mic is just so nice.
Yeah.
Honestly, I almost want to play with it right now, but I'm gonna refrain.
No, go ahead. You can play with it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want?
I mean,
we need you at Costco, aisle 3.
Hello, this is Target Management. We have a cleanup needed on aisle 69. Repeat, aisle 69. Thank you. Thank you for shopping at Target.
I have others, but trust me, they're not worth showing off. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that one for now. It's so nice. It's nice being able to not have to wear a hat too, and I can just take this off and just go I'm free. Pure freedom.
I was gonna say I
love it.
I don't think I've ever seen you without a hat. I wasn't quite sure what to expect.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know like if you had
that
like
receding
a
hairline?
full. Well, I was gonna say I didn't know if you had a full like ponytail in the back that we just never
Oh
saw.
hell yeah.
I didn't know, if you were, had a lot of curly hair. I didn't know if it was straight. I didn't know if it was wavy. I didn't
Or
know if
no
you were
hair at all.
no hair. Yeah, I didn't know if you were a complete and total cue ball.
Yeah, no.
I just
See, that's the
wasn't
trick.
sure what to
Actually,
expect.
my hat was all hair before, and then when I got a haircut, it was gone. So it feels bad. So now I'm just stuck like this forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who wants to get into what they've been playing? Or what? I mean, we have a myriad of topics.
Bryn, go ahead. Take the way.
I mean, nothing's changed. I've still been playing just a ton of Monster Hunter. That's pretty much it. To be completely honest.
Have you had any? Have you had any like change of feelings on that at all, or?
It's been a week and they still haven't fixed their servers. That's like the only thing that's like salty.
Mm-hmm.
To be completely honest, is like the PC servers suck.
Yeah.
But the game itself is great. And I think I found like some relative workarounds around the server issues.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because so far, like, it seems that I can get into some games. That hasn't really been a problem of getting into like just random games.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get into very specific games, on the other hand, is like the biggest hassle.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. That's like the weirdest thing. I figured they would have already like gotten most of that fixed by now.
Yeah.
To be completely honest. We'll see. We'll see if they like fix it or not. If they don't fix it in like a week or two, then I might have differing opinions.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, I mean, I still really like the game. It's gotten to the part where it's actually hard, and I've never played a Monster Hunter game, so I didn't know what to expect. And when I started the game, like I'm somebody that plays like a lot of Dark Souls and Bloodborne and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, oh, the combat feels really good. I'm not like I don't have a problem with that. The bosses seem easy, cool, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm at the point where like all the bosses have like just that one mechanic where like if you're not paying attention, you're gonna get one shot and die. And you're just like, please don't do it. Please. I'm just like, I don't want to die. Don't make this like my moment.
I did watch it. I think you discovered the fishing mechanic.
I did. Yeah. So, oh my god. Yeah. There were a lot of like random things that I didn't even know were a thing in Monster Hunter to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Fishing was like the weirdest thing. I also caught random critters. I like became the ultimate Pokemon trainer. Now I have like a bunch of little stupid, I think they're called wigglers.
Mm-hmm.
They have like these weird, they're really cute. They got like these little cute dragon heads, but they're like little wiggly worm things that just pop out of the ground. They're
Okay.
weird. Yeah, they're just weird. But yeah, I don't know. I really love the game, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to get into the point where it's harder and more of a grind fest. So now I'm understanding like where the whole like Monster Hunter's a grind thing is coming from. Because before it didn't really feel like a grind at all. It was just like, oh, you do things and then you progress and then that's it. And it's like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I'm definitely feeling it now. Not hating it, but like I'm feeling it. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. It's just
outside of that, is it still worth getting at the current price, or still wait for a sale?
I'd still wait, to be honest. I mean, like, I don't know. Now I'm worried that they might not fix their servers ever. That's like the only reason why I'm saying it. Is like before I was like, yeah, okay, they definitely will. But now it's just like it's been a couple weeks. I kind of figured it would be fixed by now. But I guess not. If the servers do get fixed, yes, I would definitely like recommend it still at its like current price point. With the way it is now, honestly, I would wait for any deal. It doesn't even have to be that much, but I'd buy
10,
it like
15, 5%.
Yeah, like anything. If it's a 10% deal, yeah, let's buy it. I don't know. I really like it. I really like the game. I need to stop playing it. Said no. Oh man.
Cool.
But yeah. Also one more thing.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten the chance to play it yet, but I think it was literally announced today. There's like a spooky games bundle on Humble Bundle right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it has Layers of Fear, which is probably gonna be the game I'm gonna talk about next week.
Mm-hmm.
It also has DBD in it. It has DBD and Friday the 13th. There's like their two high cost like things. They're high tier things, and they're at like $15. So like, dude, I recommend that thing if you're even remotely interested in horror games or DBD for that matter.
I thought that they couldn't sell Friday the 13th
Until
anymore.
Friday the 13th. They can't do DLCs or anything for it anymore. They can still sell it,
Mm,
but they can't add new content to it. That's to my knowledge what I heard.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is that? Just for licensing?
Yeah, they messed up with their licensing agreement and they did things they weren't supposed to. Yeah, they were smart. They were real smart about it.
Yeah.
Not really.
Gotcha.
They were kind of dumb, but things happen.
Yeah, cool. Well, in Layers of Fear, I'm pretty sure it was done by the same people who did Observer, right?
I think so. Yeah,
I think
it
so.
even looks like it's like in that same realm of like really weird,
Mhm.
but like in
Where-
a really off the wall horror game.
Yeah, like the game is like an acid trip simulation,
Yes,
and it will like you won't just like what?
dude.
Why-
I don't know.
what?
Normally I do drunk streams of horror games. That's what I like normally do when I do horror. So whenever it's like just off the wall acid trip horror game, it's the best. Oh my god. It's
Yeah.
like yeah. I love it. I'm so excited. I'm genuinely so pumped.
Yeah.
And apparently Layers of Fear is like a $20 game. And I've heard only good things about it ever. So like getting it for $1, it's literally $1.
Yeah.
Getting it for $1, I can't see a reason not to get it.
Yeah. When does that
And-
humble end?
Let me check. I'm not sure. I think they're
Nice.
always like a week long,
Mhm.
but they might be longer now. They might have actually bumped up the times. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Because
Have you played it before or not?
Have I played Layers of Fear? No, I have not.
No.
played Layers of
Okay.
Fear. It is 2 weeks.
It is 2 weeks. Okay, so we do these shows live on Twitch on Tuesdays on 7 p.m. They're released that next Thursday, well, 7 p.m. Central Time. They're released that Thursday after at 5 p.m. to YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all those. So that'll be what? That's the 23rd.
Yeah, it'll be the 23rd, and it's gonna end the. Oh my gosh, let me check.
We just want to make sure so
It's gonna end
anyone.
the 3rd. It's gonna end around the 3rd of September. I
Okay.
believe.
So if you're trying to catch up on these shows, then you might have missed it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank
I
you for
know-
that. Go ahead.
I do know that sale or like this game does go on sale a lot.
Mhm.
Plus, like this isn't like the most surprising thing.
Yeah.
So like even if it's not like even if you don't get access to the Humble Bundle, it probably will hit a Humble Bundle again, probably in
Mhm.
October. To be completely honest.
And it might, hit other sales on Steam.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm so pumped for it.
Cool.
That's where I'm at. But yeah,
All right. Well, and I think me and Bill both play a shit ton of Dead by Daylight. Probably too much.
I play way too much. I know so much about it. I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else, Ren, on the stuff that you've played or anything that you've noticed in the last couple days?
aside from the Twitch Prime stuff that we're gonna be talking about later, haven't really noticed anything, to be
Mhm.
honest. Yeah, I don't know. I was looking through like sales and trying to see if there was anything I was interested. Nothing really appealed to me.
Mhm.
Honestly, like this humble deal is like a saving grace
Yeah.
right now because I wanted something new, and it's like, but what do I get? It's like, ta-da,
Ta-da.
Layers of Fear.
Trying to game on a budget. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, I guess I'll go. I'll save Bill for later. I'll go here.
Save the
And-
best for last, baby.
Exactly. You're the guest. You got to get the meat. I played Quake Champions.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, you have to tell me about how you felt about that. Because I've been super curious.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Quake Champions recently went free to play. They announced it they did it during QuakeCon, when Bethesda was talking about Doom and stuff like that.
Yeah, during Bethesda's E3.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Bethesda's.
Received a few.
Whoops. Let's not play. So yeah, Quake Champions recently free to play. One second as I try to get the video in a playable state and not constantly buffering. That ought to do. If it starts to buffer at that point, I can't do much else.
Right.
So, yeah, in terms of Quake, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I have some, like, this game just didn't grab me. I'm gonna kind of just put that out. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't make me want to play more. Like, I had a fun time playing the game. I understand, the time, like, I wasn't bored with the game. There was just, anytime I played, I'm like, I could probably be playing something else. I kind of had that feeling.
Yeah.
And that might just come with me not really being used to these kinds of shooters. These the Quake Doom shooters of yesteryear. The picking up the rail gun and the finding the rocket launcher and doing the rocket jumps. That was never anything. Those weren't popular when I first started playing. When I first was allowed to play first person shooters. So that kind of has one thing going kind of against it. I think people who weren't really who this didn't grow up when these types of shooters were popular might have a harder time trying to get into it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I certainly don't think that's a mark against it. I mean, it's great. It runs well. It's, like I said, it's actually really fun when I do play it. I just don't feel like I'll play 1 or 2 games and then I don't feel the urge to play it again. In terms of like if this game is worth it for the free to play, yes, especially if you do really like it. I think you'll probably do better with the business model. So you start with 2 champions and 1 on rotation. The 2 champions you get are Ranger and Scale Bearer, I think. I didn't spend too much time really looking at the characters. They all have a special ability. I think they're mostly movement-based abilities, except maybe 1 or 2 might be actual attack. Like attack abilities. Does that make sense? Am I being
Yeah, no,
clear enough there? I think there might be
a lot of them are like, I believe a lot of them are like passive movement, and some of them are actually active skills that you can use in combat. I think, if I remember right, I feel like that's what it was.
Yeah, and I think there might be a
a
couple defensive ones, like maybe like a few seconds of invulnerability or something like that.
Yeah.
So the like the game, like I said, it plays well. The issue I think I might take with it is the time it takes you to get currency for characters. And I don't think this is any more or less egregious than like the lesser version that you can pick up for Rainbow Six Siege. Like I only have 4 characters in Rainbow Six Siege. I don't play it enough really to like grind through, but it's like also really frustrating that when you have people that want to play and if you don't grind Rainbow Six Siege constantly,
you have to grind it really hard too.
Yeah,
it's not just like a quick grind or anything like that.
No.
But for me, I think it's pretty comparable. At least in the time that I've spent playing the game, that's what it felt like. Kind of comparable, but it's okay in this game as a free to play game that you can buy a pack of some sort and get more characters that might make the grinding easier. You find that one character that you like.
If I remember right, a lot of the skills aren't super important, to be honest. A lot of them are like pretty meh.
Yeah.
But like for a game such as like Siege or something like that, a specific character type can like make or break a composition.
Yeah.
Where like you can have, what is it? There's a guy that can drop like an entire set of armor for everybody, or you'll have somebody like Pulse who can actually like read through walls, like where people are located at. Things like that are really important. If you're hidden behind like a paywall, where it's just like, yeah, either you're gonna have to grind for a decade, or you're gonna have to chuck down some cash to get it.
Yeah.
It's a lot more egregious, in my opinion, than like this one's system. Because this one, it's really lightweight. That's how I felt about it. It was like I also didn't feel drawn to it at all. But it was like, yeah, this is fun while I'm playing it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, and because the game that I played the most of, basically ever, Dirty Bomb, the tier system, not only because that is a free to play game, Quake or Quake, um, like Quake, free to play and character based. But they have their characters. If you do decide to pay for characters, they have them like in a tier system. So tier 1 is like you can buy a character for $2.50, and then you could buy it for like $10 or whatever. I only bought 1, maybe 2 characters with real money that game, but I also had 600 hours, and that's about how long it took me to get all the current mercs.
Right.
Maybe like 100, maybe 150 hours less than that. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But I played the hell out of that game. Obviously, it was the first thing I started streaming on Twitch. So like comparing it to Quake Champions, it's still to me isn't just that. It's not bad. Like I can't fault any sort of grind for character system in this game, especially because.
Especially considering now that it's free to play. Yeah, I would have heavily disagreed if they still kept the price tag. And I'm kind of worried. Like I'm a little bit curious if they actually rewarded people that played or that bought it, and maybe just like gave them all the characters or whatnot. Because I know if I personally bought it for like $20 and then like I felt bad because it was like, oh, I don't get the characters, whatever. That's kind of boring. And then it goes free. I better get my characters, or I'm gonna not be really happy.
Oh yeah, no,
that's just my personal opinion. I'd be really salty about it.
Yeah,
but,
and that's actually one thing I know that like somebody was just talking about with Rainbow Six Siege. I guess they like gave all the weapon attachments for free or something like that.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's like, well, I spent a bunch of renown on my weapon attachments, on my ACOGs and everything like that. That's money I could have spent on characters, which first off, I don't think you should be having to grind to unlock characters in a product that you paid for.
Yes, I agree.
I actually think that's part of the reason as much as Rainbow Six Siege kind of appeals to me, in the, because I come from a tactical shooter kind of background in terms of, insurgency and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the biggest thing I can't get behind.
So you're more on the fault line of all characters should be free
when it comes to Rainbow Six Siege.
When
it comes to these free to play games, the grind is fine. I mean, that's how they're going to make their money. To me, the character thing when it comes to characters in free to play games, as long as you're not splitting the community like with map packs, I think that's a much better way to make money. In fact, I actually think in some ways, because there's all sorts of talk back in like Black Ops 2 that the Peacemaker was going to be like an SMG or something like that. That was going to be like pay to win. I think character-based shooters can get away with selling content easier than non-character-based shooters. And I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the only other way that shooters can make money is either by selling weapons, which people will complain are pay to win, or they're gonna sell map packs, which split the community. I'm not gonna drop the $5 in a map pack, so me and Ren can't plan that map together if he does drop that $5.
Right.
So I think making people pay for characters is incredibly fair for a free to play shooter. I just don't like it when it's I paid $15 for a game, or however much, the full version of Rainbow Six Siege is, and you have to grind to get the content that you paid for.
Right. So, I mean, the actual content itself, the baseline content is somewhat free because you do start off with the opportunity to get the operators, at least some of them. But the additional operators are all DLC based.
Oh, are they?
So, yeah. So there's the original 8 operators that you get just with the game, and then from there you can either get the rest of the operators because they're all DLC. You can either get them by purchasing them with like real money to get R6 credits, or you use Renown, which is the in-game currency.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a way for them, like, you can get it right now upon release. You can actually pay the money, or you can grind and save up your renown.
Yeah.
To get it.
Which, So off the bat, and maybe I messed up, buying attachments or something like that.
Right, that came out of fucking like left field
Yeah.
with unlocking all the attachments, and so many people were upset. And then
Yeah.
they came out with a little thing that said, "We'll refund you a portion of what you had bought within this time frame or what have you." Anyway, I know at least for me, I only got like a couple thousand renown, but
Yeah.
in order to get a new character, you have to save up to like 22,000
Yeah.
or something like that.
So I think kind of going back to Quake itself and whether I think people should pick it up and stuff. Yeah, no, I mean if you like shooters, certainly try it out, and there's no harm in it. If you like it enough but don't want to deal with the grind, maybe pick up a character pack if you have the money for it. Otherwise, if you have a lot of time on your hands, you'll probably enjoy the grind. And just so people watching, the gameplay that we watched was from Frothy for that on YouTube. He's the one that this is the video. Quake Champions, being new is hard, and I agree. Like I didn't get super ragey with this game. Like I wasn't doing godly, but I wasn't also doing terribly. Like I was getting kills.
Right.
I wasn't always at the bottom of the list. There were times where I finished in second on my team or whatever. So it's, not like a game that's just going to frustrate the hell out of you when you're new and make you not want to play something like Squad when it comes to first person shooters or going back to Rainbow Six Siege. It's incredibly frustrating to start out in those games, because experienced players know what to look for. They can pick you out. They can pick you out by pixels in a fucking corner. So it's not that frustrating where you're just gonna get completely obliterated by anyone that has more than 10 hours in the game. This one is definitely more
definitely
forgiving.
Put this in the more lighthearted category of shooters, to be honest.
Yeah, it will. It's so fucking goofy and fun.
Yeah.
Too
yeah. There's never any real seriousness about it. I mean, even looking at the general gameplay style, it's you run around, you hop a lot, and you shoot rockets at people.
Yeah.
And that's that's the gameplay.
There's fucking
it's
metal
tactical-based shooters where you're just I need to sneak up on this building. For example, with Siege, it's I need to walk up to the building. I need to make sure that nobody fucking hears me, because they'll hear me if I don't play this properly.
Yeah.
You chuck in a little RC car, check out the area, scout the zone. If I'm Pulse, I need to see if there's any heart rates or anything. It's no. You just run around and you shoot people. That's
well, and there's metal in the background.
Yeah, that was actually something it did remind me of. Bill was it did remind me of a free to play Halo multiplayer if it was just a faster paced version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that I enjoyed about this though is the fucking metal and shit in the background, right? Because it's all there's in all the other Dirty Bomb or other shooters, there's no music. It's bum 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 bum, right? This is this is this is hard driving, right? Which is just fun, it's
trying to give that badass appeal for it.
Exactly. Well, and I think people who, there's just also some goofiness to the fact that it's metal music, right? It's yeah, badass. Fucking listen to Metallica and gonna go punch somebody, right?
Oh man.
I work in radio. It's okay. I can make fun of metalheads.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a metalhead, all right?
I work at a rock station.
Oh, okay. Well, see, there you go, dude.
So yeah, just the aesthetics of the game are fun and everything like that. I think it is worth a check out. I've said that a couple different times. There's not much else I can say. The grind is okay. Pick up the character pack if you have the money and you really don't want to play the grind, but you want to play the game.
Yeah, it's always worth the test. At least with a game like this where it's actually polished. Surprisingly enough, it's polished and free to play.
Yeah.
So it's there's no real reason not to.
Yeah, and it's not from an indie developer who could get bought out at any point in time and things really change. Now that being said, it is from a major AAA company that could probably change things if they fucking wanted to.
Yeah,
but you know, it's not
They
like
could flip their like hat.
yeah, but you know, it's not like what like a lot of people were so concerned about with Dirty Bomb, where it's like like Nexon, I think is who it was, is like we finally broke free of the curse of Nexon. Nexon will no longer kill Dirty Bomb.
Oh, man.
We're no longer owned by a chicken company. I think that's who Nexon is owned by. So yeah, that's kind of it. That's it. I can move on from this now. I can stop rambling.
Oh man. But,
So yeah. I mean, did you guys have any other questions?
the only question I had was like, how did people that paid for it get compensated? Did they like get access to the characters? What? That's what I'm
Ooh.
really curious about.
You know, I
because
didn't-
like, yeah, I even did a little bit of research and I couldn't find anything on it, and that was like, I didn't, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. My hope, my feelings, my
My hope is that they get compensated and like
Yeah.
they actually get the characters, but at the
Or
same
I'd be
get-
pissed.
or get some of the characters and maybe a bunch of loot boxes,
Yeah.
because there's a loot box system in there,
right.
which
For
I
what,
found.
cosmetics.
Yeah, cosmetics, which I actually, I wasn't like super impressed with the loot box system. Like, there's one that gives you one item, one that gives you two items, one that gives you three items.
Mhm.
But they are pretty generous with them, with loot boxes and stuff. So I can't really see, I mean, I don't see like a downside, even though it is mostly cosmetics. They're
Right.
generous with them.
Yeah.
I think there's like also like challenges you can get from a loot box that give you extra currency, whatever they call the currency in the game, because they can't just say gold. Oh, we have to have renown, we have to have credits, we have to have blood points, we have to have just give me fucking gold. just
Give me money. That's it.
just call it
Oh,
currency.
gotcha.
I don't even care if you just
Currency one.
currency one, currency. I don't give a shit. Stop making it confusing. You got radiant points, you got your skill points, you got your blood points, you got your renown, you got your
Don't forget iridescent shards.
iridescent shards, you got your Dirty Bomb was like rads, fragments, credits.
Caps. Don't forget caps.
Don't forget
Fallout.
caps. Yeah. Like, just give me one fucking just say money, currency, something like that.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to be different, okay?
Right.
Gotta have their own aesthetic, their own appeal.
And I see that Waz said that they knew it was going to be free. They paid to play the game like a year or so early. I mean, the game is still in early access. I
Oh,
don't
is it
feel like that's
technically
a
early
pretty-
access?
Yeah, I don't feel like it's a fair like justification if that's the case. Because
don't-
like if you're gonna have it in early access and like people paid for it, like you're
Mhm.
still paying for a title that you made free,
Yeah.
regardless. Like, I think you should still get compensated in some way. It's not like you're gonna lose a lot of money giving the people that paid money
Yeah.
things that they paid for. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's like
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Mhm.
You know, it's the content's already made. It's not like they have to make new content specifically for them or anything.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Mhm.
that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys have any other thoughts on this? Because I'm kind of tapped out. I play the game. I just don't have that many like strong emotions to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty lightweight, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I never really... I pretty much got as far as you did, I think. Because I played it for a bit. I played it for like a couple hours. And I was like, that was fun. I'm done. I'm moving on.
yeah, there's like
So-
I know I'm never going to play this again. But it was cool
Yeah.
while I played it.
there's a 4-day stretch I played like 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I think that's about the amount of time I got.
Yeah.
Bill, were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say, so just as a I don't know, just a final little recall, just definitive wise, would you Like highly recommend it, wait for something to change?
I recommend it, and I actually I talked to somebody, a streamer called Wretched Wolf, who was super into it. That's kind of been like his main game. Um, I would recommend it. I would at least give it a couple hour try, and like if you don't like it the first time, maybe come back to it for another. Like give it a day and then come back to it again. If it doesn't really grab you, and just kind of see. It's definitely like a touch and feel. You know, maybe you didn't like. It's kind of like that flavor of Gatorade. You didn't like it the first time, but maybe you can come back and get it a second time.
Yeah.
So pretty much just one of those games that if you're kind of tired with what you're currently playing, or you want a little change of pace, just go ahead and pick it up since it is free.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Definitely.
You hit it right there.
I would say if you're like one of the newer age like FPS players, I mean like a lot of FPS games, a lot are really like slow paced and really like focused on good strategies and things like that. If you're looking for something totally different, I would definitely recommend it. 100%. I would not like. I can't think of another like game that'd be better aside from Doom's multiplayer, but Doom's multiplayer is not that great, to be honest. I liked it, but it wasn't particularly great. This is a lot more polished, and it has like that fast. It has a fast FPS feel that almost no current like FPS games have right now.
It's certainly faster than Overwatch.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, that's one thing I struggle with Overwatch. Overwatch feels slow to me.
Yeah. And even with Overwatch, it's like you have that feeling of like I have to do a specific task to like help out my team.
Yeah, that's
Whereas
true.
a game like this, it's like I just run around with a rocket launcher and I kill dudes. Like,
yeah,
whatever if I lose, honestly.
The fact that it's just TDM is really nice.
Yeah. I think there might be game modes, but I don't remember, to be honest.
I only played the TDM.
Yeah, exactly. I can't recommend playing. Like, if you're going to play, like, specific, like, team-based game modes, I'm sure they're probably okay, but I didn't play them, and I couldn't imagine them being particularly great.
Yeah.
But, like, for just, like, maybe for, like, a free-for-all or, like, a TDM, and you probably just play around with friends and just, like, dip around and shoot each other. Like, yeah. I would recommend it, for sure.
Cool. Let's go ahead and get into what Bill played.
Oh, baby Jesus. I don't know. It's more like a lifestyle nowadays. But I've been playing Graveyard Keeper. Oh my goodness, dude. The official release for it was last Thursday, if I do recall. And I've been playing nothing but Graveyard Keeper because today's Tuesday. I have a little over 70 hours in the game in 5 days, so it's a bit much. But I don't know. As far as like what I've been told about like the aesthetic of it and whatnot, it's a lot similar to Stardew Valley. I say what I've been told because I've never played Stardew Valley, but it's a lot like it in the fact that you're there to complete quests, and it's a grind. It is a hard grind. Outside of that, let's go into like the main story of it all. So you start off this little cinematic whatever. Anyway, you're this guy. Guy is unknown, and you walk into this store, and on your way out, you get a phone call from your lady friend. Anyway, you get hit by a car, and you get to go talk to the Grim Reaper, and whatever he comes to snaps into consciousness, whatever. He's here in this time. It's probably about like early, I don't know, probably like 16th, 17th century. Back when, or no, I'd say probably like 19th, 18th, 19th century. Because they do burn witches and everything like that.
Burn the witch.
But right. But yeah, you wake up and you're told that you are the new graveyard keeper, and as such, you operate and coordinate with a morgue that you run yourself. You have your little house, and you also become part of the church. And so your job is to take bodies that are brought to you by a donkey on a cart, perform an autopsy on them, try to make them the most prestigious body possible, make them look good, go bury them, and then, depending on how good the body is, you'll be rated on that grave site or on that grave spot. And what you want to do is to try to make your graveyard as beautiful as possible, get the best ratings, and also with the church, also get the best rating for the church. And in doing so, you get more money when you go conduct your sermons. People donate more money, and you also get what's called faith, and faith can be used in different ways. But outside of that, your main task is to try to find a way home. And you go out and you talk to people. Do it's all just like fetch quests, pretty much. But yeah, it's definitely a grind, and I would highly recommend it. Um, I've had nothing but fun, and like I said, I've been addicted to it for for quite a while. I was actually part of the alpha testing a few months ago whenever it first came out, and so they gave me a free copy of the official release.
Nice.
Um, Along with that, like I said, I would highly recommend it. It is $20 or 19.99 on Steam right
Mm.
now.
Mhm.
And it's by, I believe the producer company. The producer's name is Lazy Bear. I don't know what other games they make, but it's Lazy Bear.
Mm.
So it's really nice. And as you just saw there on screen, there's tech trees. And the tech trees, once you get enough little tech points, you can research to learn how to do different things. To make like uh, fences, like stone fences, marble fences, to learn how to cook, to learn how to make or chop wood or get stones or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Graveyard Keeper.
Cool. And this is on Microsoft Windows and Xbox One for anyone that's curious.
Yes.
I actually didn't know it was on consoles. I actually had no idea
Yes,
about that.
yes. The alpha was not, but it is officially released on PC, PS4, and Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Got you.
And then I'm curious because this doesn't look. This will probably run on almost any computer.
Oh yeah,
I can't imagine
Yeah.
it having any
I'm-
major technical.
no, like I said, it's a
Limitations.
lot like Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley. So the graphics on it aren't the best,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still a really nice game.
Mm-hmm. And being $20, this is if you put aside $20 a month for a game, from you, this sounds like it'd be a two thumbs up. Get this if you had that $20 for the month.
And I'm
Mhm.
actually doing a little bit of research right now. It looks like it's on Xbox Game Pass for this month.
Oh,
Too. So like if you have Game Pass, you can just play the game for free.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which Game Pass is $10 a month, and I know you can get
Yeah.
you can play a bunch of other games. And this also wouldn't surprise me as a game like maybe in a year. It wouldn't surprise me if this ended up on Twitch Prime loot. Just because this is the kind of game
True.
that usually gets up on there. It's right around that same price point. Like Jotun and all those other games that Banner Sagas, they all end up being around $20. Those are the kind of games that Twitch Prime likes to have as a
Yeah.
part of their loot. So that's another thing. Like I could see this game, if it kind of gets the right traction, which it seems like it kind of has, right? Like it's
Yeah, I mean, as
it's
far as,
held
like,
audiences and stuff.
Yeah, as far as Twitch is related, as far as like streamers and whatnot,
Mhm.
since the official release, I know I've browsed the Twitch, see how many viewers it gets.
Mhm.
Then the past few days, it's been getting probably about 3 to 8,000 views whenever I've checked it out.
And then I guess another question I have about this one is what are they? Do you know what they're planning for content? Are they planning on keeping introduced? Maybe new mechanics or anything like that? Are there updates?
No, not this time. And initially during the alpha, there were updates as far as fixing glitches and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, nothing's been mentioned as far as like new content or anything like that. Um, it's an indie developers, so um, I think right now they're more focused on making a nice, finally polished, finished game. And with that being said, I playing just the official release, I have run into a few bugs and errors
Mm-hmm.
and what have you, but nothing like catastrophic, lose like save files, nothing like that.
Yeah, and there's
Which is more like visual.
yeah, and there hasn't been anything like any sort of like soft locking or anything like that that you've somehow accidentally got yourself like in a room that you can't get yourself out of, kind of thing. Nothing like that.
Uh, okay, so I ran into this, I believe it was last night, and actually just about an hour or so ago, I ran into a little problem. One problem is the positioning for whenever you lay down something. Um, so let's take like the furnace or a box. Whenever you go to place something down on the ground to build it, it has to fit within these parameters. It has already a map out of where you can set things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how you rotate it, that's the way you can access it. So earlier, I placed down a box to build it, and I went up to it to try to with my hammer to make it, and it wouldn't work. So what I had to do was repeatedly press E to slowly fill the bar instead of just for it to actually work.
Hmm.
So there's it gets a little tricky, especially down in the basement, because there's a basement below the morgue, the church, and the house that all interconnect. But there are some areas that are a bit hard to access.
Okay. Because that's one of my concerns with these RPGs, like especially indie produces. Maybe they don't test an area long enough, and even in like AAA, it's kind of a problem with like older like Pokemon games where like you can actually soft lock yourself in an area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and speaking of the soft lock, I tried to, in order to save in the game, you had to go to sleep on a bed. And whenever I went to go do that, it only happened once. I went to sleep, and as soon as it saved, the game crashed. And so I rebooted it, and thankfully it actually saved. But the fact of the matter was that it just crashed.
Yeah.
And it didn't give a crash report about it or anything. So.
Which I think we just saw that in the video.
Yep.
There's your nice your background there.
Yeah, my desktop, it's nice little stars, man.
Maybe we didn't see that.
No. Okay, so another thing that I it's kind of a streamer bitch about the game.
Oh, I'm already
is
ready.
That oh yes.
Tell me.
You could set it to borderless, right? So you have full screen, you have windowed and borderless, right? Most games, if you set it to borderless, you can click off the screen or select something else on your desktop, and the game will still be on that monitor. Every single time you click off of the desktop, the game minimizes.
Sounds an awful lot like not borderless for borderless mode.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
It sounds an awful lot like just want to be full screen.
I don't think that's borderless.
Yeah.
I don't think they did that right.
So every time I click off the screen, the game will minimize and you get to see my desktop. So yeah.
That's
okay.
Honestly, at least from like a streamer perspective, things like that are really aggravating. At least to me.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I like to keep that stuff like hidden. So like, if it's just like.
For me, it's more like a
it's
professional
screen.
Yeah, it's more like a professional standpoint,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I don't know, but there is the option like within like OBS or Streamlabs or what have you where you can have a game capture.
Yeah.
But it keeps that open. If you do a game capture on it,
Okay.
you can still see the game if you click off of it. But I don't do game capture. I just do screen capture because sometimes I like to show my viewers, something, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I, for whatever reason, I'm not a fan of turning off notifications like for my email or whatever. So I always do game capture because if I do screen capture, people are gonna see my emails.
Yeah, there's so
Yeah.
much stuff that might pop up.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And, well,
Yeah,
especially because it's like that email address is like my professional one that has my real name, blank middle initial last name
Oof.
Yeah. I
at
guarantee if I ever-
gmail.com.
I guarantee if I ever used screen capture, oh my god, so many things would have been found out about me that I was just like, please God, no.
we
Please
would
don't
have
scare me.
discovered Ren
Yeah.
Ren really enjoys Diva JOIs.
Let me tell you something. All right, whenever it comes to Overwatch, Diva's my bae. All right. Now, whenever it comes to Dead by Daylight, Kate Denson is my Southern Belle waifu. You can just leave it alone. All right.
This is taking a weird turn.
Well,
Anywho, moving on.
I was gonna say, you guys want to make it weirder
Video
because I
games
can real quickly mention,
Yeah,
I wasn't
video
into
games are
Meg. I wasn't into Dead by Daylight Meg until I saw Meg Turney do a cosplay recently.
Oh, really?
And Bill's gonna go.
I am intrigued.
I am intrigued.
So about Twitch Prime.
Oh yeah.
Twitch Prime. Oh my goodness.
AKA the
Okay.
dying service.
So
Well,
Twitch Prime and Twitch Turbo. Let's open up this can of worms.
Yeah, so the weird thing for me, right, is I have both. And I have both because I have like Amazon Student or whatever.
Mhm.
So like I just have Turbo. I just assumed that like the stuff that came with Turbo came with like it was already a part of Prime. And even once before I tried to like Google it and it was like, yeah, no, they're totally like the same thing. And it's like, okay, cool. And then I find out that one, they're not the same thing at all. And like two, they're moving services off of Prime and moving them onto Turbo, which I didn't fully understand. That seemed really weird to me. For anybody that doesn't know what we're really talking about, basically, to my knowledge, Twitch Prime coming up in, I believe, like late August is no longer going to have free ad viewing.
Early September, I believe the date was
Early
September
September.
11th.
Yeah, they're no longer going to do the ad-free viewing for
Yeah.
meaning you're going to see ads on your streams if you're a Twitch Prime
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. Unless you're sub. The sub things is still like the same, but that was one thing that I didn't even I noticed like I didn't get ads. I assumed it was already on Turbo, to be completely honest. So I wasn't super surprised.
Yeah.
But that being said, for a lot of people that don't like have Turbo at all, that sucks. Like that is the worst. I partially get it for like people that are like new partners because for people that don't know, partners do make revenue off of ads that play. That being said, they don't make a lot at all. Like they make pennies on the dollar at best. So like I kind of get it for like really new partners. I do. That being said, for like literally anybody else, it's just like a punch to the gut.
Yeah.
Where it's like, man, I don't know. Look, the way that a lot of people will like support streamers, at least right now, is they'll watch ads for bits, and like I promote that a lot. I know that a lot of other people do, and that forces you to have your ad blocker off, which is fine if you're like use Twitch Prime or whatever. Like it's whatever. You don't need ad block to begin with. That was one of my favorite things about it. Was like I don't need ad block to watch Twitch anymore.
Yeah.
This is great, but in a realistic sense, a lot of people use ad block. So like, one, this isn't really doing much for people that like use ad block. It's not doing anything at all, really. But like for the people that don't use ad block, that like try to support streamers about like ad revenue and things like that, it just becomes a lot more obnoxious. Is my assumption of how it's gonna go. That's what like my big worry.
Yeah.
Is that.
Well, and like another thing that I think is really confusing is I didn't even know Twitch Turbo was a fucking thing, and I mean it's just another confusing thing that is going to be thrown in the mix. I mean they should have at the very least. Here's what I myself would have done.
Mm-hmm.
I would have ixnayed Twitch Turbo because that's not the brand. That's not the brand that people recognize more.
Right.
They recognize Twitch Prime more, and I would have said do 2 tiers, and let people with Twitch Prime opt into the second tier that would do the ad-free viewing.
Mm-hmm.
But then also if you're like doing the student discount like you and I both did, and I don't know, maybe Little Bill, if you're doing the student discount and connecting to your Amazon Prime account, that isn't opted into the Twitch Prime with the ad-free viewing and whatever else comes with Twitch Turbo.
Right.
That was just like a thing. I'm like, this is literally like, because I had never heard of it. It's not a brand that I recognized. I'm like, this is going to make things way more confusing for people getting into Twitch and wanting to connect accounts and stuff like that. I'm like, they should have just combined the two and added some sort of tier system.
Yeah.
In terms of whether Twitch Prime members should get ad-free viewing, I'm on the fence about. I understand where people are coming from. Well, I kind of have 2 things. I definitely agree that like the ad-free viewing is really nice. I didn't necessarily notice it right away when I connected my accounts, but I definitely did later.
Mm-hmm.
The other part, and I saw some people talk about this, is that the Twitch Prime loot for a lot of people isn't worth it because the loot that's there isn't distributed on that many platforms. It's not on Linux systems. It's not on Mac systems. It's not on PS4. It's not on Xbox One. The vast majority of them are on Windows 10 machines.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, to me, if I were like a Mac strict user who had like an Xbox,
Yeah, you're just getting ripped off.
you're just connecting. Which, if you're just connecting your Amazon Prime account, you're not really getting much except for the free sub and
And ad-free viewing.
And ad-free viewing for right now, but now getting rid of that sucks. That seems like you're losing a lot of value.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, also think about where Twitch is standing from, right? So as of right now, you get all this stuff, okay, for free, if you have Twitch Prime, which is a matter of having Amazon Prime, right? That's the whole integration.
Mm-hmm.
Now, by them doing this, it's more of a financial standpoint. So you no longer have access to all this nice free shit from Twitch Prime. Now, it's pretty much Twitch's way of branching away from Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. So that Twitch can stand by itself by offering a service that would be nice for people that will pay for it because advertisements are annoying. So they're going to make more money from the Turbo. Granted, yes, they'll still have the Twitch Prime, but it won't be as valuable.
Okay.
Right.
Seeing as how, because Amazon Prime is already getting the money from it, or Amazon in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so here's my problem with this. This is just like a personal thing. I know for a fact, like, if it was not already in like a student bundle for like Amazon users, I definitely would not get Turbo. It just wouldn't happen. No. I'm not. I think it's like $10 a month, and it's like that's it's
$8.99.
$8.99,
right?
yeah. And then
But
I think
that's
Twitch
still like a decent chunk for what is it? You get a battery as an icon.
Yeah.
Ad-free viewing, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, that's cool. And I think like custom colors, and that's really it. But like, I understand why it's like $8.99, but at the same time, I don't want to like pay for another service just that way I can like not watch ads. If I really don't want to watch ads, I can always just put on ad block. Like,
Yep.
It's not. I don't know. It seems like just a silly thing to do, especially in a world where like, if this was a while ago, like where ad blocks were not nearly as prevalent as they are now, I would understand. It'd be like, okay, I kind of get it, sure, but like, really, like, there's uBlock, there's ad blocker, there's ad block plus, there's like tens of like, there's dozens, dozens of them that you can just like go to and be like, yeah, this will work, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Right, but then you also have to look at like what is their target audience, right? Target audience is towards those who aren't technically inclined for the ad block, right? who
Right.
don't want to run the risk of getting a virus from downloading some software off some bump up website that
Right.
says that they offer this service. They don't want to run that risk, so they're going to sit there and cope with either A, having to watch ads on Twitch, or B, buying the turbo.
I guess so. I don't know. I feel like most of the target audience of Twitch to begin with already would like know about that. Granted, you're gonna you're gonna target a small audience, but like it's a really small audience. It's not like you're gonna. I don't expect like a huge influx of money coming from this idea.
Oh
I really
no,
don't.
no. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it's more of an attempt so that Twitch can stand on its own without Papa
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Which, yeah, I mean, if Twitch can kind of separate, put some more daylight between themselves and Amazon, that's actually kind of not a bad idea. And I mean, for me, I use Amazon video streaming quite a bit because it has shows on there that Netflix or Hulu don't have, which baffles me. Like House MD, not on Hulu. What?
Wait, I thought it was.
I couldn't find it the other day, and then I had a hankering for some House MD, and I'm like, well, it's not on Netflix, not on Hulu, or at least not that I saw on Hulu. And then I'm like, well, I'll try Amazon Prime. So just like the fact that the Amazon Prime video service with Twitch, being kind of bundled made sense to me and kind of felt nice.
Yeah.
Both being video services together. And so it's just like another thing that kind of baffles me. It's like this was like kind of like a nice, neat little package, with all the shipping stuff, obviously. That's not what I use Amazon Prime for the most point. I find more value from... I read an article from Business Insider, I think, about this today. Twitch Prime, for like an individual person, they've given over over $1,000 in games from the loot. But that's not of much value to a lot of people because not a lot of people have the PCs that these are meant to run on. Granted, these aren't like a bunch of hardcore fucking games. I think the heaviest duty game that I've at least played from it has been Observer.
Yeah.
It's the Bannersagas and the Bannersagas, Bannersagas and the Jotuns and some of the Kingsway, the lighter duty games that show up on Twitch Prime, but they're still like $20 worth. And I was probably could count my Twitch Prime again and see how many games I've claimed on there.
Yeah.
To see how much average money I probably did save just by claiming these games.
Yeah.
So,
I think this might just be a me thing. Because we were talking about separating from Amazon. I actually really like that they're with Amazon to begin with. Like I really like that interaction personally. Like
and Amazon, they're owned by Amazon.
Right, exactly.
So it's not like they have a choice right now.
No, I know, I get that, but like what I mean is like instead of like having to pay for another service, I wouldn't mind if I had to pay like a little bit more on my like Amazon shit just so that way I could like get it. I would be relatively okay with that. I don't want to like buy another service just because I don't want like another bill. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just like don't like the fact that I'd have to pay for another thing and then like I have to monitor that as well. As like
I 100%.
Because then your credit card statement just gets fucking longer and it's harder to keep track of all your services.
Exactly.
So, like going back to my first proposition, would you yourself, Ren, if they got rid of and I only say this because to me Twitch Turbo isn't as strong of a brand.
Right.
Would you...
I 100% agree with that.
Would you favor them ixnaying the brand or the separate part, Twitch Turbo, and then making like a 2-tiered system for Twitch Prime that would add like an extra, say, $1.50 to your bill every month or whatever it is?
I'd be relatively okay with that. Honestly, to be completely honest, I feel like... I mean, if they put in all of Turbo's things and then they just put it into Prime and then they made Prime more, I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really have a problem with Prime being more. Because, I mean, for me, it doesn't really matter. Because for me, like, Prime is already a part of my deal. So, like, I'm sure a lot of people would disagree. And I can understand that entirely. But, like, for me personally, I wouldn't mind if, like, I had all of the Turbo benefits just chucked onto Prime and then you made Prime more. Like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because
I just don't like the concept of having to pay for another service.
Yeah,
I hate that idea.
For me, I mean, to me, it just seems like my issue is just like the branding and like the consumer confusion that I foresee happening.
Exactly.
That's my,
Honestly, I owned Turbo for what? I've had Amazon Prime for like more than like a year. I didn't know about Turbo for like, I think I found out about it like 3 or 4 months ago, and I've owned it for like what, like a year and a half. I've never even heard of Turbo before that point. I saw people running the battery, and I was like, "What's that?" And like I see it, and it's like Turbo, and it's like I don't understand what that means.
Yeah,
that literally means nothing to me. And why is it a battery? I don't know. Are we like, what is this? Is this Duracell? I don't get it. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the branding is like so off on Turbo. That's why I'd rather they just chug it onto Prime. Honestly,
yeah, to me, that was just the thing. I was reading all the articles today, and I'm like, this is just like the branding is just going to confuse consumers. I think it's going to piss off people who really only did buy into Twitch Prime for the ad-free viewing because they don't have the platforms that the loot comes into. And, I mean, the only other value is being the free sub, but you only get 1 free sub a month.
Yeah.
And from what I read was that you also don't get the ad-free viewing from that free sub.
Right. The ad-free viewing is going to be through the Turbo.
Well, but if you sub to a channel, you get ad-free viewing.
If you put on the sub, you do still get ad-free viewing.
Oh, you do?
Thing.
Okay,
yes.
so I must have misread whatever phrase that was.
Yeah, it still works like a regular subscription. So that's not different.
That's not different, okay.
Which is kind of what I want to talk about, too, because, like, with the concept of putting Turbo and Prime together, that kind of makes Prime subs almost irrelevant to, like, a consumer, aside from the whole, like, you get emotes. Sure. Yeah, that's cool. But, like, there's so many problems with that system. Honestly, like, because it's separated into 2 different things, that's what just makes the entire can of worms, really.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand not having ad-free view. I do get that. So, yeah, maybe it should just be separated into 2 Prime-specific versions. I think just because it's, like, branded as Turbo. That's why, like, so many people don't know about it. I think you're totally right on that. But, like, man, I don't know. This is, like, a really weird problem that's just, like, yeah, we're gonna like put everything on this other service that we don't tell anybody about until right now.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, well, like, okay, so, when I was reading the articles today, because I was working the front desk at work today, I usually turn, like, the always-on food channel, where they just play, like, public access cooking shows.
Yeah.
Or I turn on the Bob Ross Marathon, if the Bob Ross isn't on, I'm on the food one.
Right.
Because it's safe for work. It's something that I can look up and watch because when I'm working the front desk, I'm literally just answering calls and letting people in the door. And there's not, that I might get 1 or 2 of those an hour, if even, right?
Right.
And I noticed there's nothing on the front, there's the crown for Prime.
Twitch Prime, yeah.
But there's nothing that's like indicating anything for Twitch Turbo.
Yeah,
and that's another part of it that I'm like, you guys need to figure out your branding here and make this clear for consumers.
Yeah, I think the only way I even found out about Turbo, aside from like Googling it, is like I had to check through my settings and like check very specific weird settings that I wouldn't even normally check as a person. And it was like, by the way, you have Turbo, you want custom colors? And it's like, what? Wait, that's a Turbo thing? I thought that was a Prime thing. And it's like, okay, all right, I guess, sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. I get the ad free viewing. I do. I totally get that, like, being a thing that's like they want to get rid of it. I get that.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that I probably wouldn't even mind so much if they threw the custom colors and everything else like onto Prime and just left it at that. And like,
well, so here's the thing, real quick about that. Yeah. Is that I don't have Turbo. Okay.
Right.
I have Twitch Prime.
Okay.
I have custom colors.
Do you? Wait,
yes.
What?
Yeah. Like, if you see it, like, inside Danie's chat, it's red, right? I could change that.
I know,
can you actually do, like, custom specific colors, though? Or is it, like...
Yeah.
Like, can you use hex codes? Because that's what you can use.
I'm pulling it up right... Yeah.
Okay.
You can use hex colors. Yeah, hex color code.
Because Okay, alright. So here's the thing. Because I looked this up, and here, I'll even pull up the thing. Right here. Custom chat username colors is a thing with Turbo. Hold on. I'm going to type it, or I'm going to post it in Dane's chat right now. But like, so it's a service offered by both.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming so.
Why are there so many? Okay, that's like another weird thing is why are there so many overlapping features with Turbo and Prime?
Yeah.
It's like,
once again, this just goes down to fucking Twitch not being clear on their branding and shit.
yeah, it honestly literally sounds like Prime Plus.
If we're getting
Without the sub.
Yeah, if we're getting confused over what features like that just on Prime not Twitch Prime, but on Twitch themselves that they haven't communicated things properly. That's the frustrating part about it. In addition to like other, Amazon Prime benefits that are kind of going away. This is just like in the last week, the whole discount thing with pre-ordering games. It's just like the lessening value, constant lessening of value right now for Twitch or for Amazon Prime / Twitch Prime is like,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Like, oh man, that's like $100 or whatever a year, isn't it? I'm like,
yeah. I mean,
I don't buy that much
really
shit on Amazon.
Service.
Yeah.
Yeah, for people that really use that whole like pre-order service, I feel really bad for them, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing, and like we talked about it, and I was genuinely like frustrated because I pre-ordered Monster Hunter, and I'm just like, I could have saved $12, dude. I could have saved $12 easily. And like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that they just don't mention. Like they really don't. I had no idea that was a thing. Like at all. I genuinely didn't.
So
Ren, I'm looking at that link that you posted, and yeah, right there where it says exclusive emoticons and customizable chat colors.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't have Turbo. I only have Prime,
but
and I have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can do that.
All right. This is the even weirder thing because if you look at that picture, look at what tab it's under.
Twitch Prime.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
Right.
Get it. It's okay.
So Twitch execs, Twitch business people, if you find this
branding shit together, please.
If you find this, recognize that affiliates, all three of us are affiliates.
Yeah.
Who are reading your shit, trying to discuss your shit, are getting confused as to what your programs offer. What chance does anyone else have?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, hold on. This may be like preemptive to the split.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like that article that Ren just posted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That article may just be preemptive to the split that's going to happen in September.
Oh, okay.
So like people right now, so they started the publicity about the split.
Mm-hmm.
So there's now two services that kind of made a big deal for Twitch, Prime and Turbo. A lot of people don't know about Turbo, so whenever they go to look it up, this is what Turbo is. And granted, yeah, Ren pointed out that it's located under Twitch Prime right now, but whenever the split happens, it may have its own section. But this is what Turbo is and what it offers, so that everyone is aware for whenever the split happens.
I mean, so here's the thing. I did just like post this just from right now. I think I remember this being pretty much the same thing when I checked it because I looked this up because I genuinely didn't know what Turbo did, and I was like, oh, okay, it offers custom colors. Okay, cool.
So that may be something that's being taken away from Prime.
Yeah, right. Which salts me more. to be completely honest, that makes me even more salty. But okay, all right, that's good to know. There's actually a few things specifically about Turbo, which now I'm really curious if they're like, oh my gosh, okay, I gotta know all this stuff because there's so many things that are just randomly like, oh, when you like, for example, for affiliates, I think we get like a 45-day normally for when we're storing our VODs.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how Turbo offers like 60-day storage, and now I'm curious if that's the same thing with Prime or whatnot. I don't know. There's a lot of weird overlap that I feel like.
I don't think it'd be for Prime because at least I have Prime and it's 45 days. So Prime might still stay 45 days, at least, because it goes back to us being an affiliate. And
Yeah.
then the extended storage is offered even more if we get partner.
It still says 60 days. I can show this one too.
60? Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'll post this one too, because I have no problem discussing this at all. Like, I genuinely don't. I feel like there's just like so much vagueness in like what actually the differences are. To my knowledge, the only real difference is like you get a sub.
Yeah.
And like that's it.
Really? And the loot.
Yeah, you get a sub, and I guess a priority customer support. And if you've ever worked with Twitch customer support, that's not a thing.
No.
That's a lie. That's a fib. So, yeah. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Well, since we're frustrated, because I know we have we're kind of getting there in time. Since we're frustrated with Twitch, let's talk about its potential competition in Steam.tv.
Oh my god!
So, for those who don't know, this is the brief and confusing history of Steam.tv. So, evidently last week, Valve released Steam.tv. They told CNET that it was an accident, that it was meant as an internal test that they accidentally made public. And then, like, today, they re-released it for the Dota 2 Internationals. Now, I watched a little bit on it, and so this is all supposed to, like, connect to your Steam account and, like, use the Steam chat. So you can, you know, and all that stuff in there.
Which let me start off by saying the Steam chat is a fucking decimate. Oh my god. Anyway, personal opinion. Moving on.
Yeah, so like you can see, now that I know about Steam.tv, I can look at the new Steam update and be like, I see exactly where they think they're going with this.
Honestly, I 100% agree.
I'm like, I'm looking at all these windows and stuff like that. I'm seeing the share the game. You know, they had been experimenting with that for a couple years, but now it's more prominent in the menu.
Yeah, they've definitely been doing a lot of really like off the wall overhauls that would not make any sense without this like release.
Yeah,
at all.
So
it's like, okay, some of them I like. Some of them are really weird, but okay. And it's like Steam.tv, by the way.
Yeah,
it's like, oh.
Which right now they're using Steam.tv to promote the Dota 2 Internationals. And this is something I was kind of thinking about earlier today, and I mentioned it before we started the podcast. What if Valve like starts going up to like Twitch and being like, you can't stream the nationals or the championships of CS:GO, Team Fortress 2, Dota 2, whatever other properties that we own. That's exclusive. That's exclusive to Steam.tv.
I feel like that's such a huge risk, honestly, from Steam's part. I mean, granted, Steam makes a lot of money.
No, it's not. They own the licenses for them.
Well, it's not like Twitch has the viewer base.
Well,
right, Twitch has the viewer base, but viewer base can be transitioned onto a different platform just like that if they want to pretty much be dicks about it.
Well,
but I don't think nearly that many people are going to head over. That's my opinion. I feel like the amount that they get on Twitch is how much? Sometimes it averages like 100,000.
Well, I guess here's my thing when it comes to the Steam right now, and I think it's the same problem that like Mixer has, is where's the incentive for streamers to go over there? I can see the incentive for YouTubers, right? Because you can store it there, you can, there's the super chat on YouTube, there's a lot of things that can incentivize someone to go over to YouTube streaming instead of say Twitch. The other live streaming platforms, Mixer and Facebook, and what other, I'm sure there's other international ones, maybe Chinese or Korean specific, or maybe something European specific, or Russian specific. But there's no incentives for me to go over to Steam unless they're gonna start offering like better payment systems and better deals, right? Like I know Facebook started sniping people from Twitch. They started offering streamers money to leave Twitch to go over to Facebook.
Facebook Live.
Yep. So, like, those incentives, I'm kind of curious to see if Steam.tv is going to go the way of Twitch or Mixer or YouTube, where it's independent content creators like ourselves using that platform, and then the platform taking a cut of that. I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to try to get people to do that without it being a catastrophic failure. The only way I can see Steam TV, this is myself, being successful is, and this is just me being speculative, and I don't want to give Steam any ideas or Valve any ideas. The only way I see them being successful is, and I don't know how esports works in this aspect in terms of licensing, right? I know some about, the NFL is its own league, and the league owns and the league sells the license to broadcast, right? But, it's not like a new league couldn't come along and sell, rights to broadcasting. In fact, that's, people have tried to make attempts at that, including President Trump at one point tried to own a smaller football team in a smaller league. My question is, though, is because Steam or Valve owns some of the biggest esports in the entire video game industry. Wow, my cat is being loud. Is, because they own CSGO, Dota 2, Team Fortress 2, whatever else, in terms of big esports. And because they're their proprietary, or because it's their independent, or what am I talking? Their intellectual property. Do they give rights to companies to form leagues? And if so, can they then say, if you're going to use our intellectual property to form your leagues, you can only stream it on our service? And that's the only way I can see them making like any sort of headway in this battle. When there's at least two juggernauts in the industry for video game streaming.
Right. Yeah. I have to agree with you, to be completely honest. I can't really see it taken off so well. That's at least my personal opinion. I don't see it taken off unless if they do something like that where they literally put like a stranglehold on it.
Yeah. But like I said earlier, I mean, it's totally feasible and more likely to happen if Valve wants to be a dick about the licensing of whatever products. Now, with that being said, I can also see with the Steam.tv, like incentives being kind of like how Twitch Prime is, like as of right now, ad-free viewing for games. But at least with Steam, that those games are for PC.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that they're compatible with whatever platform Steam is on. So it might be a more viable option. But like I said, that's just an idea that may or may not will happen with this service.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, it's a totally reasonable thought process on it, to be completely honest. I mean, the thing that I have a problem with in terms of Twitch's whole game giving out thing, aside from the fact that, one, the game's chances don't even work on most systems. They really don't. It'll work on a Windows system, sure, because it's the most popular one. But aside from that, nothing else. But how many people really use it? To be honest,
I don't.
Yeah, I don't even touch it.
I use it.
I'll see new Prime loot, whatever. I'll claim it, but never download it.
Yeah, the only thing I ever claimed was maybe a Warframe, and that was it. And it's okay,
yeah,
cool. I got some plat, I guess.
Yeah, right. I guess so. I'm looking at this real quick, by the way. So PUBG Jungle Crate, Warframe Gear Bundle, Prime Loot, Overwatch, Wrecking Ball loot boxes, RuneScape membership, and loot pack. More Call of Duty World War II stuff, 500-bit bonus for Overwatch League All Access Pass. Some more loot for Eternal, a strategy card game. And then, so Wizardry Bundle, Windows. Jotun, Valhalla Edition, Windows. Antihero, Windows. SteamWorld Dig, Windows. Death Squared, Windows. That's all the games this month. They're all Windows games. And I can see where people who aren't on PC would be pissed off about the Loot Prime system.
Yeah. I think we even talked about this once before, where we were talking about how I think I mentioned that I felt like Twitch was trying to step into Steam's bounds where it didn't make sense. I mean, realistically, why is Twitch doing games specifically. That seems like a really weird market. I kind of get it because like obviously you're a game streaming platform, but at the same time, like,
I mean, you're essentially
you don't have that like infrastructure to just be all like, ta-da! I have an entire Steam like, it's called a Steam library. I can't even like say it without like a games library. There we go. But like, it's so ingrained to be like it's a Steam thing. Maybe you go to GOG, maybe. Yeah. But like, aside from that, Steam already has that market like set. Like, you're not really gonna enter that realm anytime soon, I don't think. So like offering like the whole Twitch app where it's like, oh yeah, you can get your games here and stuff like that. It seems ridiculous to me. Honestly, I don't understand the point. I really don't. I feel like if they're gonna do something like that, they might as well like partner up with other businesses. Honestly, like I don't want to download something so that way I can download games using like what I would consider bloatware.
Yeah,
because like that's just I would never use it. It just wouldn't happen. Honestly.
Thinking about it and thinking about like giving away the games and everything with Prime Loot, I can also see how this can correlate to what I said earlier about Twitch wanting its own legs to stand on besides Amazon.
Right.
So that it's its own, it can take care of itself without bigger support.
Yeah, because realistically, it probably is getting like a lot of like revenue from like Amazon specifically, like that market, so that way it can support itself. I can't imagine that Twitch itself is super like monetarily effective. I'm sure it's like supporting itself, but like
recordedly, last year Twitch itself made around $60 million, which correlates to $5 million a month.
Right. But like in comparison to something like Amazon itself, like the actual like business, I'm sure that Amazon's making more, and then they can.
Oh yeah, Amazon's definitely making more.
Yeah, for sure. But you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, right. Basically, I don't know. I feel like it's the exact same thing that we were talking about a couple weeks ago, but the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was gonna say that. I'm like, Steam has pulled a switcheroo on us.
Let's make Twitch.tv, and it's like, what are you doing? You were doing great before, and then you just had to randomly chuck this out. And it's like, come on, man.
Well, you know, the problem, because, you know, I've done some research and looked at Steam, or Valve, and how it runs as a company. It's a company that's like this, not like this, right? There's no, like, departments will just form overnight because somebody had an idea. And so it's just like, so I'm not surprised knowing the structure of Valve, or at least the supposed structure of Valve, where Gabe Newell's not our boss, but he is our boss, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, this sounds like the redheaded child who needed Adderall came up with an idea.
I don't know. I don't think it'll go very far. I think if it does like go anywhere, it probably will obviously be for like specifically like tournaments or things like that, where like they're gonna promote it on their page, but they're not actually gonna like, oh, let's try to get independent contractors in here and let's try to make a new Twitch.tv. It's like I really don't see that going at all personally.
I mean, you just got to look at Microsoft's Mixer.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Now, because I mean, there's something that feels weird, and I mean, Twitch is more organic in that aspect because it started not as a property built by a massive corporation, where it doesn't feel. Now it's starting to get a little bit more in the feeling like it's a little advertisey. Everyone in the content, you know, but with Steam and like Mixer, I can certainly, and I haven't watched much on Mixer. Maybe I'll have to do some more research on Mixer. I just don't produce there, and I became an affiliate, so I can't simulcast out to anything other than just Twitch. So I don't know how Mixer operates.
Yeah.
So it just, you know, it's kind of one of those situations where like I'm looking at Mixer and possibly like the Steam TV, and it's just like, oh yeah, here are all the buttons where I can go purchase this game that I'm watching, and look, it goes right to your essentially Steam or Microsoft's wallet.
Right.
So that's, and I think that's like a thing that, you know, consumers are going to feel that, you know, it's not like the used car salesman, but it's the used car salesman argument, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, though, my only concern My only concern, and this is just from me in my pessimistic, I've studied media business.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen what companies will do
Yeah.
in terms of protecting their intellectual property or trying to get a service off the ground or try,
Yeah.
what Disney will do to try to save ESPN kind of bullshit.
No.
I'm just worried about what's going to happen to the esports leagues. Are they going to get strong armed if they're playing a Valve game to broadcast their game or broadcast their sport, their championships and stuff like that on Steam.tv? And are they going to is Steam? I mean, we don't typically think about this as Steam, but Steam is one of the Valve is one of the most profitable companies in the country.
Yes.
ESPN just started a couple years ago looking at broadcasting esports, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling Valve might be able to outbid Disney if they wanted to. I think that if Steam wanted to, they could outbid what they could pay more than what Disney sees value in broadcasting these.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to
I was
say.
gonna say, I don't know about outbidding, but like I could also see like Disney owns like all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
If they see somebody really wants it and like they'll pay a ton of money for it, they'll probably just be like, whatever, we'll buy something else. Like
Yeah.
honestly, like
Yeah.
we even talked about it before off the stream. It was like what they own NASCAR. I didn't know that at all.
Yes.
I didn't know that at all.
They own ESPN.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they own ESPN. Does ESPN own NASCAR?
I do believe so. Because
Okay.
it's broadcasted on the ESPN network.
Well, I mean, they can buy the rights, right? Because like
Right,
Fox doesn't
but
own the
yeah.
NFL or CBS.
Right.
Yeah.
But yes, they do own NASCAR.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, in terms of Steam TV, I can't foresee it being like a Twitch competitor, but I can certainly see maybe some sort of like online esports stream service if they. I mean, they're obviously doing it with the Dota 2 internationals, and that's where I kind of see where they could make their success, and maybe kind of start twisting arms on some of these esport leagues.
I think personally, if they start twisting arms, I don't think they're gonna do it anytime soon.
No,
Really.
no,
Because it's gonna be a bit, honestly, like I think the way that it'd have to go is like it'd be something along the lines of what they're doing right now. They'd like start it up. They're like, oh no, we didn't mean to, and then they'll like give it like a couple weeks and start looking at a thing, and then they're gonna just like host only tournaments there, and it's just gonna be that, and then they're probably gonna start adding because all these games I believe have like loot boxes or some sort into it. It'll be like the same way that I think that Rainbow Six Siege does their thing with Twitch, or like if you watch for a certain period of time, you have a chance of like getting loot boxes.
Yeah, the drops. They're called drops. So that forever long you watch their tournaments, you get a reward in game, which is a charm.
Yeah. So something like that I could definitely see happening, and then like give that a bit of time, and then when it really starts to like build a foundation, they could pull some like they could really like try. I can't imagine that'd be anytime soon though.
Yeah.
Personally. I think that'd be their best bet of doing something though.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Same. And this is just me being an armchair businessman.
Realistically, we have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
Right.
It's not like we're like corporate. But
I have taken plenty of media business classes and done case studies and stuff like that, but I didn't go for like running a media company. I don't have my camera like handy. I was gonna say my camera and my mic are what I went to school for.
Yeah. Man.
But yeah. Do we have any other thoughts on this topic? Because I know we're getting at the about an hour 40 mark.
Yeah.
At this point, I would highly suggest like not really beating a dead horse because we don't have all the facts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
it's incredibly speculative from us.
For sure.
Well,
But yeah.
cool. Well, I guess we'll end it here then.
Alright.
we'll let Ren go ahead and tell us what's coming up on his channel, what he's up to, and where we can find him at.
Hey guys, you can find me at twitch.tv/Ren147. I don't actually know what I'm playing tonight. I've had a few ideas, Monster Hunter, and I've been really deciding if I should play anything else but Monster Hunter. So I don't know. It might just not be. Hopefully, Monster Hunter. It's really gonna be Monster Hunter. No, we'll see. I'm not sure. To be completely honest, I was thinking Dead by Daylight. I even have Call of Duty on my PS4. I can play that. But yeah, that's going to be starting up at around 7 PST, which I believe is 9 for you, I think.
It's almost 9 here for me.
20 minutes? Yeah.
Yeah, in about 20 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool.
That's correct.
I mean, what's coming up for the rest of the week? Anything else?
For the rest of the week, that Layers of Fear stream is probably going to happen Friday, and I'm probably going to be drunk off my ass, and I'm going to love it. And It's going to be great. I'm so excited. I'm
pumped. Where can people find you, if you didn't already say it?
Twitch.tv/Run147. You can also find me at Twitter, but I don't really use it, so don't bother. But yeah, Twitch is probably the best place. That'd be your best shot.
Cool. So go give him a follow, guys. Little Bill, what's coming up?
Howdy.
What's coming up on your stuff, and where can people find you?
Oh goodness. Okay. Well, coming up, I plan on streaming tonight. Don't know when. Just whenever I feel like it. But we're gonna finish up Graveyard Keeper. I'm at the point in the game. It's towards the end of the game. Plans for the rest of the week. I have no fucking clue. I've tried to reach out to my Discord, see what people want to see from me, what games wise, but honestly, I don't know. Just whatever I'm feeling like playing for the rest of the week, what have you. You can always catch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/LilBill17. That's LILBILL 17. You can also catch me on Twitter, but I really only post Twitter in case I'm not streaming that day. But yeah, outside of that, I stream whenever I can or whenever I feel like it, and I usually stream for about 8 to 12 hours.
Cool. Coming up on my channel, I think I'm going to be playing some probably be playing some Elder Scrolls Online. Wednesday being tomorrow. Not sure what else I'll be playing for the rest of the week. I'm trying to keep Dead by Daylight down to once a week because people get salty.
Oh, you goddamn right. Oh my god.
And then D&D on Sunday. The podcast will be up on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google. I keep saying it every week that hopefully we're on Google. I try to connect again through Google, so hopefully we're on Google. So follow us and subscribe to us on all those. You guys will, and then I'm gonna do a rerun on Thursday, and followed after the rerun because I work Friday night. I will actually be doing a later stream. So that's what's coming up. You guys can find me on Instagram, Danie K. Find me on Twitch, Danie K, DANIECAE. And then there's also the Twitter for the podcast at NTNPod, POD. And yeah. Anything else, guys? Absolutely anything else.
I think we're good. I think we've pretty much covered everything and anything that we could possibly talk about.
All right, guys. Well, go ahead and say our goodbye. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Mondays. Also on my channel on Fridays from 12 to 2. Conan Age Undreamed Of. We've got Jim Davis on there again this week.